Blessing I see clearly, 2020, wisdom increased when I heard the message, word of truth, King James, 1611, deep in study, you could say I be snorkeling, no Bible college like a reverend, you'll see diggies pop when the word come out of reverend, brainwash different from shampoo and shower holes, this world keeps your third eye closed, propaganda, martial law, and talks of war, got you distracted by sports shows and Instagram Explorer, but y'all sleeping, no, y'all may need an alarm clock or dropped on your head, water that's ice cold, blacks, Hispanics alive, that's what they see, but I see zombies, yeah, the walking dead, no AMC, it's our time to wake out of sleep, cause salvation is nearer than when we believe, but y'all wanna catch Z's, y'all wanna catch Z's. It's high time to wake out of sleep, cause you're spiritually dead. Dry bones, get up, stop walking in darkness, come back to the light like Edison. Brother Makazah, calling you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and wherever the holy seed is scattered, back to our God, the God of Israel. Alright, repent, for the kingdom is at hand, for true repentance is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and having faith in his Son. Alright, I want to give all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, which that's the name of the Father and the name of the Son. Alright, so I wanted to do, this not really a lesson, this is kind of like just stuff I was jotting down, and some of it's going to be off the top, but yesterday, the Vocab Malone guy, he had like a, I don't know, it was a dialogue with Divine Prospect, and you know, he's just been a demon, and it's just like I've been wanting to do this, but it's like at times I'm just like, it's a waste of time, but I just want to do this video just for brothers and sisters, you know, just to, you know, like, I mean, this guy's a joke, because here it is, he's a hypocrite. And I wanted to, I was going to get what I had said on Facebook, but I might put a screenshot to show, but I told him, I asked him about why is he lying about slavery, or the nations going into slavery, because he's big on like the Gentiles and the strangers and things like that, and then but he never wants to talk about all them scriptures that say the Gentiles are going into captivity, you know, or the strangers, you know, going you know, Isaiah 14 and the various scriptures, and I'm gonna get those, but I asked him about that, and then he goes on to say it's a lie told by liars. All right, so I'm gonna get that his point a little later. In Jeremiah 31, where he was bringing out, and he forgot to mention another scripture in regards to what he's saying about it's a lie told by liars. But just off the board, man, this guy's a joke, like I was saying. And he's like, see, like, for instance, with us, on a carnal level, people may see, not even really know about us or Hebrew Israelites on as a whole, like as like Christians and things like that, because obviously this is not a religion, but and according to the scriptures, everyone's not going to wake up to this knowledge and coming back to their nationality. But on a carnal level, just for people just on the outside looking in, might not think much of us Hebrews, but on a spiritual level, we taking this thing over, you know, like you know, the Most High is working with us, and we taking this thing over, you know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, on a carnal level, but even on that carnal level, it's like we're not doing anything wild, like, you know, we're not wilding out to the point where we're on you know, TV, and it's just like, oh, these Hebrew Israelites, they're terrorists, they have to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like on this ISIS level, even though that's made up by the government, but we're not on this ISIS and terrorists, and you know, we plotting and things like that. Matter of fact, let me get and this is also for these coons that join along with him, like whether it's G-Con or not G-Con, G-Man. and any other and it's so funny because this guy he stay with Jake, he stay hanging with Jake, he rapping and doing all this kind of stuff, but it's like we see through you, man. You just mad because yeah, like it's just you still want that lovey dovey. Oh yeah, I hang with a bunch of Negroes, so I mean I don't want them to think yeah they're better than me, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like he wants us pretty much back on that docile Christian. But like I've been saying, is we on that Turner, man. We gonna read for ourselves. All right, so this is Matthew 5:11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Okay, so verse 12, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Okay, and matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 8:8. 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. Okay, and that's what we're doing. And these damn Christians, y'all not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah, and vocab, like, like I said, you making these books and you making a book, but you're a hypocrite because you won't say how come you haven't talked about all the atrocities the KKK did in the name of Christianity? You know what I'm saying? They didn't edify. They didn't bring out the word. They didn't. They're like, yeah, they're mainly hate based, right? But they don't even bring out no scriptures like, oh, this is how we're the Jews. They even hate fake Jews. So you know what I'm saying? But it's just like they coming in the name of Christianity. They killed us. They burned churches, which also shows that we don't have the same God. Okay, so but my point is like, where are your books on that? You having conferences and things like that on us. You know, but like I said, it's not to the point where it's like, oh, these Hebrew Israelites must be stopped. It's like, yeah, you just a hater, and any Jake that's with you is a hater as well. Like a bunch of coons. Like I said, you want us to go back to being docile Christians. But and the thing about this, like the history can't be debunked. Okay, so like, and that's why what I'm starting to see is like no one's really bringing out, oh, we're lying about being the Jews and oh the history, and it's always like going to one West, and I had a series called Hebrew Israelites Not Racist where I showed how our forefathers dealt and spoke about the nation. So it's not a one West doctrine or racism or hate group. And that's my thing. It's like these guys want to talk about being racist, but they'll never say, oh, King David, he was a racist. He said he hated his enemies. And Esther, when she said she abhorred the heathen, you know what I'm saying? When Ezra talked about how the nations being nothing, okay, and he got that from Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? So, and just the various other scriptures that go into, matter of fact, I was going to get the Apocrypha, but, I just wanted to touch into that. Just how everyone's, of them, their main just is like the whole racist and hate group type thing. Like you can't debunk the history. We done showed the history, and then on his website he got books like so-called Israelite books, as if the brothers that are writing these books have not gotten the references. They haven't gotten all the references of what they use to write these books, and then there's books outside of the Babylon, the Timbuktu, that show that the Jews were black and showed the connection between us and the ancient Israelites. So it's like their main focus is this salvation thing and the Gentiles and the strangers and things like that. But again, without understanding, they seem to keep missing out that the nations are going into slavery. Okay, so and I also wanted to say, like, in as far as like the camps being divided, like, yeah, you might have some brothers here, some brothers there, which is prophesied. Like, like 1 Corinthians. Yeah, First Corinthians 1:11. For it had been declared unto you unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Cleo, that there are contentions among you. Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, I of Apollos, and I of Cephas, and I of Hamashiach. Is Hamashiach divided? Was Paul crucified for you, or were you baptized in the name of Paul? Okay, so that was going on back then. You had even like with the Sadducees and Pharisees, and you had the Essenes. You had different so-called sects, cliques, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean but the truth though is that we all agree that we're the Israelites and that the law is not done away with. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Christianity, they're divided in lies, all teaching madness, teaching the law doesn't, because he says that the law is done away with, which Paul, and I'm gonna do a lesson on that, showing, and I'm not even gonna just really bring out like Romans 3:31. I'm gonna bring out scriptures that people are just, it's going over people's heads and they're not really pinpointing these scriptures. But Paul saying, he that stole still no more. I mean, that's the law, that's repentance. I mean, it's just common sense. Like if the law is done away with, well, we can't keep the law, like then are you saying we must live lawlessly? But then no, you'll say no, we of course you don't steal, of course you don't commit adultery, then you're keeping the law, you dummy. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, but you're writing books and you're too one West in it, but you can't even get over the simple things. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to him, that goes to any other white Edomite apologetic or Christian, whatever the case is, and other Coons and Coonalites. All right, but yeah, I might even make a part 2 to this and bring out other points, but I wanted to get Isaiah 52:8. Thy watchmen shall lift up thy voice with thy watchmen shall lift up the voice with the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye when the Lord shall bring again Zion. Okay, so I mean, everything is gonna be put in order and be brought together when the kingdom comes. So yes, it's gonna be contentions amongst different camps. But as far as the whole One West thing, like I said, I mean, there's many scriptures that show that Israelites felt a certain way towards the nations. I mean, no one can get around that. And if you're saying that Israelite is racist, as I've been saying, put the Bible down. Do not touch it. All right. So and then his whole Caleb. The Caleb and a lot of that stuff with the Caleb thing is not, it's just trying to think of the word, slipped my mind, but basically it's not to say all, it's not true. Basically it's just what people are thinking of it. Now the scriptures clearly show 2 different lines, and I'm not gonna really touch into it, but it's touching into 2 different lines of the Kenizzite, and Caleb is from Judah and not the other line. Okay, so I mean, and I might put that in the comment, but I wanted to get something just to show. Now if Caleb is just, oh, and this is like a question, because it's like if Caleb is he was a Gentile, a stranger, and then he cleaved and then he becomes a Judite, then where is the law of the stranger? Where does the law of the strangers fit into that? Like Leviticus 25:44. And again, he's saying that slavery and servants and things like that is a lie told by liars. Both thy bond, this is Leviticus 25:44. Both thy bondmen and bondmaids which thou shalt have shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you. So it's like this is gonna be to those. So even when the kingdom comes, when you read like Ezekiel 47, when it does say, there'll be the stranger shall sojourn among you. But again, you guys miss all these other scriptures, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61, talking about the role of those strangers. Okay. But it's saying that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land. And again, Ezekiel 47, and they shall be your possession. Let me get that real quick. That Ezekiel 47, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. Okay, so it's just like saying, man, if Caleb, so it's like saying, okay, there's strangers that are like, they want to play the role of a servant, and then there's strangers that are saying, I want to act like an Israelite. But like, where is that in the scriptures? Okay, so it's clear that Caleb was an Israelite, unless you're gonna say that the stranger doesn't matter. Okay, but yeah, this is in the kingdom, Ezekiel 47 and 22. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you, which shall begot children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. Okay? And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith the Most High. And that's going to be like when the kingdom comes. And after again, those strangers in Isaiah 60 have built up our walls. And I don't teach that all the strangers in the Old Testament. So I don't know if your brothers, might be trying to put some of these strangers as Israelites, but no, I don't teach that every stranger in the Old Testament is talking about Israelites. But in the New Testament, yes, they're Israelites. But but let me see. Okay, so let me get that Jeremiah. So he brought out Jeremiah 31, and he talked all of this stuff about, the strangers are going to be joined with Israel. Matter of fact, before I get that, let me get, and I mean, this is a classic script. I mean, yeah, Isaiah 14 and 2. I'll just get to the point. I'll read 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Okay, so, and this there's no record of this happening with ancient Babylon, and this is clearly not happening with the fake Jews. So for those that are still, they want to deny that we're the Israelites, but they want to say that matter of fact, let me get that. They want to say that the fake Jews are the Israelites, and we're not the Israelites. When did the fake Jews, when did they, like, let's take this into consideration. When did they take the Germans, from the Holocaust and put them into slavery? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So you got fake Jews living in Germany. You got fake Jews living all around the world. And that's not script. When they were supposed to go back to the land and be 100%, the new covenant, the law in their hearts, and they would keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, not have homosexual parades. And this is what I'm talking about. These guys that coming against us, you're not saying anything. Where's your judgment? Like, that's what I'm saying, no cap. Where's your judgment? Where are you talking about America is going to be destroyed? Like, you mocking in your videos talking about, the missile food, and like, okay, like you're mocking the men of the Lord. I mean, and you're going against the Most High. Ultimately, you're going against the Most High. Because Babylon is America. You know what I'm saying? So, but the point is, where is your judgment? Where's your books on breaking down how the fake Jews, according since and then he told Divine Prospect that his the false prophecies. So okay, then what's the true prophecy of the fake Jews? Why aren't they keeping the law according to Jeremiah 31, Hebrews 8? You know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High is gonna deal with a lot of y'all, man. Like you Edomites, he gonna deal with you Coons, G-Man, all of these guys that's coming against us. I mean, y'all can get dealt with. But Jeremiah 31, he brought out, but he says that it's a lie told by liars. But Jeremiah, you happen to miss Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Okay, so again, and we know that what I'm about to read is a future prophecy. So so we see, and then like I said, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61, showing the role of the actual Gentile strangers. So this is Zechariah 2 and 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. We just read that. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Lord. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. So, again, matter of fact, and I'll get Isaiah the 2nd chapter. Okay, so, and I will dwell in the midst of thee. But my point is, like, this guy's lying. You clearly lying. You know what I'm saying? It clearly says that the nations which spoiled you, and they'll be a servant, man. And then you will probably just skip over all of that, and then the nations are gonna be joined in the Lord and be a part of Israel in the covenant. Like, damn, you're a devil, man. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto thee. Okay, and the Lord shall inherit Judah, his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. Okay, so again, man, it's clear that you're lying, man. It's a lie told by liars. All right, according to you. Now this is Isaiah 2 and 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Okay, so we just read that, but again, you got to put the pieces together. We read Isaiah 14, we read Zechariah 2. Okay, so again, it's not just these nations are, because that's my thing. And this guy's saying that we don't have to keep the law. Again, with the strangers, so can they just be wicked? Were the strangers amongst us, can they just be wicked and not do anything? No. Again, when we had strangers, you think, so could they worship other gods and things like that when they were amongst us? When they were born in the land, you know what I'm saying? Were they just worshiping other gods? Was the law done away with? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, all nations shall flow into it. Verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Again, so the law is in, again, Baruch, the 4th chapter, 4 and 1. The law is here forever. So how is it right now? No one can keep the law. So at this moment, we're not to keep the law, and it's lawlessness and all this. But then, yeah, in the kingdom, the law is back now. Like, no, the law is forever. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Matter of fact, forget it. But Isaiah 2 and 4, let me just move on. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Okay, so now what cuts this again, fake Jews. Now, why aren't they teaching the world the law? They're in nation, like there's still war going on. So that's why I'm saying, again, you're making books, but you're not correcting these things. You know what I'm saying? You're not. So again, man. So yeah, let me get. Let me just continue to go into this. So the slavery is a lie told by liars. So again, revelation out of the Lord's mouth, 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. And the saints are not uh, anybody. Again, I mean, this is the madness that is coming out of this guy's mouth, and all that follow him, and just other coon, like I said, coons that hate on Israelites, and they're Israelites hating on, so they just going back to that docile Christian state. But again, Isaiah 148 and 14, he also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Most High. Okay, so all right, so and then yeah, Revelation 19. I mean, Yahushua is coming back to destroy nations. Like, he's not, oh, it's just the Christian believers, because even when you read Revelation 21, I mean, the gates are Israelites. Again, then when you drop down and you see like the nations of them that are saved, it goes back to Isaiah uh 60. Okay, so yes, and the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall be utterly perished. Okay, Isaiah 60 and 12. All right, so 19 and 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is the word of God. We know this is talking about Christ. And the armies which were in heaven followed him up upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. So he's going to go against the nation. So again, man, this is just crazy. Like, this whole thing about racism. So we bringing out that the nations is, the Lord is going to destroy nations. I mean, that's all throughout the Old Testament. I mean, it's what I just read. I mean, and then the Lord again, and then this is again going back to what I was saying with the whole Caleb thing. Now this is Revelations 2 and 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nation. So is this saying that a heathen is just gonna, and that shows the difference, is it's a distinction between Israel and the strangers, okay? Because again, it's showing you, and keeping my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. Going into Psalms the second chapter, Psalms 7 and 8, Psalms the second chapter 7 verse 7 and 8. Salakia. But just to show that this is gonna be the elect. Matter of fact, let me get let me get the other one. Yeah. So Wisdom of Solomon, showing you that it's the elect. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 8. They shall judge the nations and have dominion, because verse 1, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God, and there shall no torment touch them. This is who it's referring to. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and the Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love, which the love of the Most High is keeping his law, statutes, and commandment, shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints. We just established who the saints were, and he have care for his elect. Okay, so just to show who the elect are. For 45 and 4, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name, I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Okay, so And then, like, even taking it down here, Matthew 24 and 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven, one end of heaven to the other. And that goes into Jeremiah 23 about Israel being saved from all the countries where we've been scattered. Okay, so let me see if anything else I wanted to touch into. But matter of fact, just one more scripture as far as the strangers go. So this is Psalms 18 and 43, and this is David. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head of the heathen. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. Okay, the strangers shall fade away and be afraid out of their close places. Okay, so again, showing you, matter of fact, I'll keep reading. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. It is God that avengeth me, and subdue the people under me. Okay, he delivered me from my enemies. Yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man, which is Esau, man. But just saying, yeah, the nations, the strangers that cleave, yeah, going back to Isaiah 14 and the various other scriptures, yes, there will be a servant, handmaids, captivity, slavery. So you're the liar. All right. So, and I mean, like I said, you're a hypocrite. Going back to my first point regarding the KKK, you're not saying anything about them. Yeah, you're not saying anything about them, but you're making books about us. We're not burning no churches down. We're not, we're just bringing out the truth. Again, I mean, unlike these false, and you talked about something about, I missed it, but I heard a little bit. He talked about something about pastors, something trying to say black pastors, or yeah, the pastors of our people, they're doing better or something like that, and they're teaching a bunch of lies, and I mean they fulfill this. Ecclesiasticus 20 and 29, presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. So yeah, teaching our people that the law's done away with and you can keep Christmas, and that's why I'm saying, if the law's done away with, is Christmas lawful? Do we keep Thanksgiving? Do we keep Valentine's Day and all these other July 4th and all these other pagan holidays? So you're talking about these black pastors, they're doing more than Hebrew Israelites, but yeah, again, they're teaching lies. All right, so matter of fact, one more. This is Proverbs 17 and 23. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom a wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. Okay, and my favorite scripture I like to get. So a wicked man, he'll pervert judgment, whether it's him taking in something or giving someone something, just like it's saying, and that's what a lot of these coons are that follow you or just coming against us. They want us to speak the smooth things like Isaiah 30. You want us to prophesy to them deceits. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing. So whether a pastor is taking money from the church or he's giving money, trying to act like he's helping people out, he's just so God-fearing and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a cut. He's not. He's perverting the judgment. He's not telling people, oh yeah, you got to keep the laws. You can't do Christmas. You can't. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, after this, get my last scripture. But this is Psalms 37 and 30. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, which we know wisdom, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and his tongue talketh of judgment. So the mouth of the righteous is supposed to talk of judgment. But yeah, you're not talking judgment. Them other fake cats is not talking judgment. These fake pastors is not talking judgment. Okay, the law of his God is in his heart, his mind. Okay, none of his steps shall slide. So again, the law of his God, the law of his God. Okay, so you claiming to love God and all of this kind of stuff, and you making books and talking shit. Like, man, the law of his God is in his heart. That's why I be telling the brother Rob Ma, if you know. But I be telling him that's why I'm so glad that we have the word. We don't have to listen to emotional, jargon. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to listen to emotional. Like, I could just go to the scriptures and see, okay, the law of his God. So this guy's talking all this stuff about the laws done away with, but let's just see how his actions match up. Okay, like it say, he that saith he knoweth him and keep not the commandment, he is a liar. Okay, and then yeah, you talking about the whole brother thing. You're not our brother. You know what I'm saying? And you're Edomite. You're not our brother. You know what I'm saying? And Jake that, and then like the Lord said, he that doeth the will of the Father, that's my brother, my sister, so on, and my mother, so on and so forth. Okay, so but the last thing, yeah, I wanted to, the point was Psalm 78:5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which were born, or which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children. Okay? That they might set their hope in the Most High and not forget the works of God, the Most High, but keep his commandments. Okay? So just to show you, so again, I'm asking you, the law is done away with. Like the young children, are they supposed to be doing Christmas? Like, what are you gonna teach them? Okay, are they to keep Passover? And I already just did a video showing that the apostles kept Passover, okay, and kept Pentecost. So I mean, and showing that Colossians, the second chapter, the 16th verses has nothing to do with saying don't keep no high holy days. But then again, these same people will say, yeah, oh, you guys, we're not to keep no Passover, we can't keep them, but then you're keeping Christmas. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I said, man. But yeah, just to show, I might make a part two, but probably not, because this is not even worth, our time dealing with this clown. Make all the books you want, but as I said, y'all can't debunk the history, the knowledge we've been bringing prior and predating One West, predating Rabbi Ford and Matthews. You know what I'm saying? Predating all of that. Okay, and I mean the scriptures have been there, and the interpretation. You see the interpretation. You see that Israel was talking about the nations. Okay, see, got me on. Matter of fact, this is Psalm 79 and 6. Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. So no cap. I mean, has America and has these other nations and kingdoms, have they called upon the Most High's name? No, they have not. Especially America. They have not called upon the Most High's name. All right, so, I mean, but that's just showing you. Pour out, matter of fact, this the last one. Last one. Is it 35? Matter of fact. Last one. So yeah, have they done that? No, they have not. Yeah, here we go. All right, so yeah, Psalms 59 and yeah, 5. Thou therefore, O Lord God of hosts, the God of Israel, awake to visit all the heathen. Be not merciful to any wicked transgressor. Salah. So again, in fact, and just to back that one up, and then yeah, I'm done. This is Ecclesiasticus 35. And just like the Lord said in Luke 18 about praying to be avenged from the adversary. Okay, this is Ecclesiasticus 35 and 17. The prayer of the humble pierced the cloud, until it come nigh he will not be comforted, which were not, and will, and as far as the keeping of the commandments and knowing this truth, we are comforted. We've been comforted by Yahushua, you know, uh, but we're not comforted in our state physically. And will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. For the Lord will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward them, till he have smitten in sunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen. So till he have taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of the unrighteous. Okay. So that's plain. All right. So yeah, I mean, like I said, deal with the things, like I said, with the KKK thing issue, and I mean, you've been found to be a liar as regards to slavery and the nations going into captivity. So yeah, Kwam Yasha Allah, you know, Shalom to the brothers and sisters, man. Keep pushing. Don't let none of these demons and coons come against us. You know, the Most High, man, let him be true. Every man a liar. We just dealt with the scriptures. I'm cutting, and like I said, none of this is one West. I dare one of y'all to say that it's one West. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's been what I wanted to bring out, man. Again, this is Scriptures No Vain Opinions. It's been your brother Makazah. Shalom.